Hi, and welcome to Kidney Plugged In. On today's episode, we feature Walking to Wellness, and you'll meet the creator behind this Kidney Wellness Hub initiative that includes virtual exercise snacks and in-person meetups that are expanding to a community near you soon. And we'll tell you how you can register for the meetups in your community. And you'll meet Joey Ficocelli, and you'll learn how you can take advantage of the initiatives that will improve your mobility or just get more movement into your day. So stay with us, because all of this and more is coming up next right here on Kidney Plugged In.
Struggling to get enough movement in and meet the Canadian guidelines? Or just have a sedentary job and need a little help focusing? Virtual exercise snacks can help. It was created to help you get more movement in through your day, promoting better kidney health and overall well-being. Join the online information session to learn more about the benefits of physical activity and your kidneys. Then book a 30-minute personal session with a senior kinesiology student to have your questions answered and receive a personalized plan. Whether you're starting with a little movement, limited mobility, or already moving quite a lot, you too can benefit from exercise snacks. Did you know just 8 minutes of activity after each meal meets the Canadian Physical Activity Guidelines? Also, we're excited to share, coming to your community, are in-person Walking to Wellness meetups. Registration is now open for volunteer hosts and participants interested in joining these meetups. We provide the hosts with collateral materials, training, and a walking plan to help get everyone started. Both of these Kidney Wellness Hub initiatives are open to anyone wanting to protect their kidney health. For more information or to register for the virtual exercise snacks, visit the events page on kidneywellnesshub.ca. Hope to see you online soon. So, Joey, what is Walking to Wellness?
Walking to Wellness is a research-informed exercise program to help kidney disease patients meet Canada's guidelines, physical activity guidelines for kidney patients.
Why did you volunteer your time and energy to design a program for kidney patients?
I volunteered my time and energy for this program for kidney patients because I had an opportunity to work as a research assistant at St. Paul's Hospital on a research study concerning the feasibility of exercise for patients on dialysis. And I really recognized that there is a need for more resources to enhance the physical activity habits of those patients. And those patients were eager to get more resources for physical activity. And so being a kinesiology student, it was right in my wheelhouse to offer my expertise to put together an easy and simple exercise program to help meet their needs.
How do kidney patients differ from an average person?
I find typically that kidney patients walk through daily life with a little bit less energy and a little bit more sedentarism, which means that they're prone to not getting the regular amount of physical activity in their daily life, as opposed to maybe the typical person. But just like anybody else, they're eager to exercise and eager to engage in physical activity.
What are exercise snacks?
So the Walking to Wellness exercise program that I designed, it uses this principle of exercise snacks. And exercise snacks are short and repeated bouts of physical activity. And basically the goal is to break up the prolonged periods of sitting throughout the day. And so from research out of University of Toronto, from Dr. Gillen and Dr. Moore, it's been shown that breaking up the prolonged periods of sitting is actually more potent than just exercising from, say, 1 hour a day. And so my exercise program leverages this research by offering exercise snacks throughout the day such that it can become more of a habitual act.
Who can benefit from exercise snacks?
So exercise snacks are beneficial for everyone. The more movement throughout the day to break up those prolonged periods of sitting is beneficial for absolutely everyone. In particular, it's really beneficial for professions where you're sitting for prolonged periods of time, like office work or bus driving, but as well for sedentary patients or any populations with pathologies that potentially put them at risk for sedentarism. And the purpose is really to add in some bouts of movement throughout the day and break up those prolonged periods of sitting.
is an exercise snack?
So an exercise snack can be as short as a minute, it can be like 2 minutes, it can be as long as 10 minutes. The really power of the exercise snack is just the additional movement that you gain from not having it to plan a longer period of exercise.
Are there any modifications you made to these exercise snacks for kidney patients?
The one modification I made with the exercise snack is to recommend that it's completed after a meal, so shortly after either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The purpose for this modification was to help make it more of a habitual act. Obviously, eating is kind of a habitual act in daily routine, and so I thought that if we could leverage that by adding exercise snacks at the end of each meal, then it could be simply adopted into a person's daily routine. But obviously as well, exercise after eating, postprandial exercise, actually helps with glucose regulation, blood glucose regulation. And so following meals when glucose spikes, these exercise snacks help a person modulate their glucose levels.
Can you talk about why monitoring glucose is so important for kidney patients?
For sure. So many kidney patients, as we know, actually are also suffering with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And the high blood glucose levels can cause many different issues for all sorts of organs, including the kidneys. And so modulating and regulating those glucose levels through exercise has been shown in research to be a great way to help prevent diabetes and also help patients with pre-diabetes.
What about people who really are struggling with their mobility?
This exercise program is specifically designed for many different levels of mobility and ability. The exercises that it includes, the warm-up exercises, are meant to be done starting in a chair and built up to standing, but can also be completed entirely in a chair. And the same kind of strength benefits will be reaped. So it's totally an exercise program that is safe for everybody and inclusive.
Where would you do these exercise snacks?
The best thing about exercise snacks is they can be completed anywhere. Indoors, outdoors, they can be completed while you're watching the TV, they can be completed while you're at your office, they can be completed during dialysis. So it really makes them a very flexible way of increasing physical activity.
Is there a gauge I can use to tell if I'm exercising too much?
A good gauge for exercise intensity is soreness. Soreness is not necessary to ensure that the exercise is enough. However, soreness when starting a new exercise program is to be expected. Soreness within 24 or 48 hours is totally fine. Soreness that continues beyond 48 hours is a sign that I would recommend shows overexertion. And as well, any level of mobility impairment following exercise is also a sign of overexertion.
Is there something that people could use to tell if the intensity is enough?
So I believe what you're referring to when you can't speak or can't sing, or when you can just sing or just speak, is referred to as the lactate threshold. And this is kind of the area where your body decides what energy system it's using to gain, to have the energy necessary to carry out the exercise that you're engaging in. For this exercise program, we're kind of working in that moderate stage of intensity. So I would recommend that we would be exercising at a state that is right around that lactate threshold, where you can carry on a conversation with someone you're walking with or on the phone or something like that.
Is there any time I should stop immediately and seek medical attention?
So a few signs where I would stop the exercise immediately would be feelings of lightheadedness, dizziness, or nausea, or acute and sudden chest pain. These are all signs where maybe overexertion is occurring, or the body's just not prepared for the load that is undertaking. At these points, I would rest. I would rest immediately, and if those symptoms don't surpass once rested, then I would seek further medical attention.
And what are your hopes for the exercise plan?
So I have two hopes for the exercise plan. My first and most important hope is that it really helps the patients that are registered to it gain more independence, gain more quality of life, and really achieve their goals with physical activity and meeting those Canada's physical activity guidelines for kidney patients. My second goal is to really show the power of kinesiology and how kinesiology can play a role in really bridging the gap between medical advice and patient implementation.
How do I get involved and learn more about these exercise snacks?
Well, the Walking to Wellness program is run online through the Kidney Wellness Hub. There is videos online on the Kidney Wellness Hub where there's more exercise snacks and access to videos for other physical activity forms.
So you mean I get to talk one-to-one with a kinesiologist?
At the moment, yes. We are offering one-on-one meetings where a kinesiology student can have a conversation with a patient and help to inform them where they should start along the program based on their ability and their comfortability, and also adopt the schedule best to their lives as well. Very exciting. Starting in the fall, the Kidney Foundation has started a partnership with kinesiology students from the University of Toronto, and hopefully we will be offering more programming coming soon.
Are there any resources that you might recommend for patients in terms of guided exercise routines, things that are kidney friendly?
For sure. So I really, really like the Kidney Wellness Hub. It's a really great resource. What I like about it is there's a lot of variety. It's on an online space, and there's live classes, there's discussion boards, and they're updating content. So I see there's a new Pilates class that's being offered. And the nice thing about it is you can become part of a community, so you can meet other people that are on the same journey as you. And as well as that, the instructors, a lot of them are kidney patients themselves, so they can really relate and tailor the exercise appropriate to you. So I think that really is like the foremost resource that I would recommend to our patients. And certainly the patients that are using it really enjoy it, and it keeps exercise interesting. And I think hopefully it keeps patients motivated as well.
So besides exercise, are there any other lifestyle habits that people should think about adopting in terms of improving their overall kidney health?
For sure. So things like blood pressure are really important. So having ideally, if you can, have a machine at home and check your blood pressure, knowing what your target blood pressure should be, and checking your blood pressure every now and then just to make sure that it's within target. Things like blood pressure and weight management, all of those things that we all should be doing anyway. Besides for that, in terms of diet, there's a lot of literature coming out about now incorporating more plant-based products into your diet. So I'm definitely not saying everyone must become a vegetarian, but incorporating more plant-based proteins such as legumes, things like chickpeas, and that into your diet. And there's a lot of great recipes also on the Kidney Wellness Hub, and as well as some live cooking classes, and using this information. So reading, I strongly believe information is power, and using your healthcare team. If you don't know what diet you should be following, speak to the dietitian at the clinic, engage with the Wellness Hub, the dietitians that are there. There's a lot of great recipes out there of kidney-friendly diets, and trying to get more plant-based products in your diet is definitely helpful, not only for weight management, blood pressure, it's also good for the planet. So yeah, that's definitely something that I can recommend.
So in addition to the online resources that can serve as a bit of a guide, what other sorts of supports or equipment might a patient need to get started?
So really you don't need much. You just need a little bit of space in your living room. Literally you can exercise from a chair. And I think being creative, so if you don't have dumbbells at home, you can use like 1 liter bottles or 2 liter bottles, or use soup cans. A resistance band is also very helpful. Those are a few dollars. Lots of pharmacies even give them for free. And I think any form of like elastic resistance band is a very handy thing to have, and can be incorporated into a lot of exercises. And really, you don't need much, a good pair of walking shoes perhaps. So exercise really does promote socialization, because I think especially after the pandemic, people have become pretty isolated. So having a community, having friends that you can exercise with, it's great for motivation. It's also great just for the social aspect. Getting out the house is good for mental health. And it's also good to motivate you, so you can have friendly sparring, friendly competition with your exercise buddies. And it doesn't have to be in person, it can be online. But just that you feel that you're not alone in your journey, I think it really does help. So specific to dialysis and exercising, so hemodialysis is a misconception that if you have a fistula, you can't do things like lift weights. You actually can, as long as you don't put the weight directly on your fistula. So you can use the arm as you normally would. Certain cases, people who like, for example, rock climbing, wearing a protective like neoprene sleeve over the fistula is a good idea. I've had patients on peritoneal dialysis actually that surf. Again, peritoneal dialysis patients think that they can't go in water, whereas the only water that they shouldn't go in are things like hot tubs or municipal pools. But if it's a clean body of water or the ocean, they can, as long as they clean their exit site after surfing and cover it if they can with an adhesive dressing. Many people still believe that they can't exercise, that they have to be careful because they've got fluid in their abdomen, but that's actually been proven to be a misconception. And in fact, in 2023, they released a whole set of guidelines for peritoneal dialysis patients and advice for them to exercise and that it's safe for them. So really, we do encourage peritoneal dialysis patients to exercise, and it's amazing how much of a difference it makes to them to be able to exercise, because a lot of the peritoneal dialysis patients are generally a bit younger, a bit more independent. So they think they need to stop exercising, and when you tell them, no, actually you can still exercise, they really are very happy about it, and it keeps them healthy.
And now we catch up with Walk to Wellness creator Joey Ficocelli as he meets with participant Annabel for an online personal session.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Joey. Thanks for meeting with me.
I'm happy that you were able to find a time to meet with me so we can talk about how we can best help to implement it in your daily routine.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a young mom of 2 very active boys. So as you can imagine, it's really hard for me to find the energy to exercise, let alone actually do the exercise. I'm looking to get some help with how to get started.
So just for starters, I'd love to hear a little bit more about kind of your daily habits right now, or your weekly habits, specifically concerning physical activity and any maybe intentional physical activity that you find you're able to do and work into your day. What does a typical week kind of look like for you?
Yeah, a typical day for me, I'm up very early, around 6 a.m., trying to get myself ready, wake up the boys, get them ready, get them off to school. I do live quite a whiles away, so the commute is also a little bit heavy on my body. By the time that I get back home, I need to do household chores, laundry never ends, and then I'm exhausted. So I take a nap for a couple hours, I wake up, I have to make food, so it's just a continuous cycle of being a mom. I'm finding it really difficult to just try and find time to exercise.
Well, okay, so thank you for sharing that. First and foremost, I'd just like to say that right off the bat, this exercise program doesn't require a big allotment of time, and the idea behind this exercise program is something called exercise snacks. So exercise snacks have been heavily researched out of the University of Toronto, and they've been shown that really only up to a few minutes of actual movement repeated throughout the day has major benefits. So for someone like yourself with a little bit lower energy, who finds it tough to maybe find 30 minutes or an hour typically to get some exercise in, I think this could be a great answer to help facilitate more physical activity movement throughout your day. How does that sound?
I think it sounds doable. I mean, I'm willing to try anything at this point, so I'm ready.
Totally understandable, totally understandable. Okay, so how about in terms of your walking or any movement that you are doing, do you use a mobility aid at all?
No, I don't need a mobility aid. What I really need, Joey, is a maid, but I can't get that either. But what I do notice is really just shortness of breath. I'm going on walks with my kids every other day or so, and I'm struggling to really keep up with them.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And also, let me just preface that at any point during this exercise program, if you feel tired or feel like you would like to sit down, please do not push through that and totally take a rest. Having a break in between movement is totally fine. The more movement we can add, the better, but ensuring that it's within your limits and within your body, it's really important to listen to your body. And if your body would like a rest, that's definitely beneficial. I have some questions about if you have any concerns or any injury history, any physical concerns that you'd like to share that may be important for me to know before we decide maybe where you should start in the exercise program?
No, nothing too serious. I've noticed that I do get joint pains from being on my feet way too long. Like if I've had a long day of running errands, cooking, cleaning, and I don't take a break, then I do feel that pain. So exercise is the last thing on my list.
Totally, that's completely understandable. So our program actually starts with 3 days a week with just the warm-up exercises to kind of build that lower extremity strength that's really important for walking. And so that can be exercises that are completed actually from a seated position. And so the instructions would be to try them after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which really helps make it a habit within your daily routine. But there's also some glucose regulation benefits from doing exercise after eating, which are extremely beneficial, which is another kind of avenue that we're hoping to benefit from with this exercise program.
Huh, I didn't realize that.
Like I said before, for a person kind of your level of physical activity, the more physical activity we can add to your daily routine, the better the outcomes will be and the better you'll be feeling. Today, I'm going to take you through the warm-up exercises. Feel free to grab a chair and join me. So all 4 warm-up exercises can be completed from a seated position. For the purpose of you seeing better, I'm just going to turn my chair to the side. The first exercise is the heel raise. For the heel raise, you're going to think about driving your heel up to the sky. For this one, you're going to think about up for a second, hold for a second, and down for a second. This exercise can be completed with both legs at the same time or one at a time. So once again, lift the heel up for a second, hold for a second, and down for a second. For the second exercise, we have the toe raise. For the toe raise, you're gonna think similar to the heel raise, you're gonna think drive the toe up to the sky. Similar to the heel raise, up for a second, hold for a second, and down for a second. Once again, it can be completed 1 leg at a time or 2 legs at a time. 1 second up, hold for 1 second at the top, and 1 second down. The next exercise is the leg extension exercise. For this exercise, I recommend using the bottom of the chair to brace for extra balance. For the leg extensions, we're gonna think about extending the leg at the knee joint. For this exercise, you can do it 1 leg at a time or both legs at the same time. And again, slowly extend the leg at the knee, hold for 1 second, and bring it back down. As well, as long as you're holding onto the seat, you can do both legs at the same time. For the final exercise, we have the hip flexion exercise. Once again, brace the chair, be in a comfortable position, and think about driving your knee up to the sky. This exercise, I recommend doing only 1 leg at a time. As well, 1 second up, hold for 1 second at the top, and 1 second on the way down. If performing the hip flexion exercise from the chair is uncomfortable, then I recommend trying it against a wall. For the wall, I want you to brace with both hands against the wall for extra balance, and then same thing, think about driving the knee up to the sky as high as possible. And so again, drive the knee up for 1 second, hold for 1 second, and back down for 1 second. And then alternate, other knee up for 1 second, hold for 1 second, and back down for 1 second. If you've made it this far, you've now completed the exercise warm-ups. Following this, if you're in progression 1, you're done. If you're in progression 2 or more, then now's the time where you complete the instructed walking. Enjoy your walk. Do you have any questions concerning how to carry out the exercises or the instructions or?
No, I don't think I have any questions, Joey. I'm just wondering, when do I know when to move on to the next progression?
So every progression is scheduled to occur bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. However, the progressions really are only going to progress the next stage if the patient yourself is feeling confident and comfortable with the exercises that they've completed and feeling like they're able to move on to the next stage. If you're able to complete them at a pretty high frequency, then I would love to send you the instructions and an example schedule for the next progression, which then can occur over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, I love that it's online. That's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to working with you over the next few weeks and seeing where we can go.
Okay, that's great. I'm really looking forward to getting started. Okay, thanks, Joey.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Chrissie. Did you know the Kidney Foundation is taking a walk? And we want you to come with us. We are gearing up to take the virtual Walking to Wellness program on the Kidney Wellness Hub live and in person to communities across BC and the Yukon this January, and we need your help to do it. The Walking to Wellness program encourages people to use walking as their entry point to getting active and improving their health. And everybody knows walking in a group is more fun. So starting this fall, we're recruiting and training volunteers to be Walking to Wellness group leads. We're looking for enthusiastic walkers and joggers who find happiness in helping others achieve their goals. Come mentor and support your community members as they take their first steps walking to wellness. Don't let them walk alone. Lace up and join your local Walking to Wellness volunteer team. We'll provide you with training, mentorship, and ongoing support, and you will improve the health and wellness of your community. Want to learn more? Contact Chrissie, that's me, at the BC Yukon branch. Email me or give me a call. Walking, it's one of the simplest activities you can do to improve your health.
If you or a family member are at higher risk of developing kidney disease, we invite you to explore the Kidney Wellness Hub with customized tools and resources designed to help you preserve your kidney health.
Can you imagine losing most of something without realizing it? Over time, kidney disease can destroy up to 80% of kidney function before you notice any symptoms. Talk to your family doctor to see if you're at risk and need to be screened. It could save your life.
So just one question. What if I'm out for dinner? Do I just do the exercise snacks seated at a table, or?
That is a great question. And so my advice would be, if you feel comfortable, carry them out at the table at dinner. But also, this exercise program isn't the end-all be-all. Following it to an exact T is not necessarily the goal. The goal is just to increase the amount of physical activity time within your daily routine. If you would like to find a different time where you can include that exercise, then that is totally fine, and I do recommend that, just so we're trying to shoot for that 3 times a day on those working days. But of course, if you're out, then prioritize enjoying your life and enjoying that meal, and the exercise can come after. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. So just so I have it right, I do exercise snacks 3 times a day after every meal. I think that works for me.